Hi guys, I haven't made a video in a really long time, so I figured with the holiday season coming around that what a better time to do a Halloween video. I'm counting down the top 10 Halloween episodes that have nothing or very little to do with Halloween. Watch Mojo, please don't sue me. Please, I can't afford it. For this list, I've compiled the 10 episodes that appear to be or are widely regarded as Halloween shows, but are in fact not.
No.
Number 10. 21 is the loneliest number, Gilmore Girls Season 6, Episode 7. As Rory and her family prepare for her 21st birthday party, two residents of Stars Hollow prepared their scary Halloween attraction known as the Hollows. And this takes up about 2 minutes of a 43-minute running time. The other time devotes itself entirely to the party Rory doesn't seem to want to be having. There is no mention of Halloween. One would think with the show chock full of pop culture references, they would have jumped at the chance to spoof the many Halloween films. Number 9, It's Not My Job, Full House, Season 2, Episode 3. Not really sure if the episode's cold open was a premise that was eventually scrapped or simply something cute for the Olsen's demo reel. But once the opening credits are over, all traces of Halloween vanish. You would think that mysterious vanishing would open the way for a special little scary episode. You would be wrong. The story revolves around Uncle Jesse's desire to not be a mundane exterminator and instead to be a mundane musician who writes corporate jingles instead of real music. Stephanie also gets her first cavity. Cavity, there's your in right there. You had too much Halloween candy. Boom, in, easy. I will never understand the writers of Full House. I never will. And yet I watch their holiday episodes every year. It's a curse. Number 8, Canning Randy, How I Met Your Mother, Season 6, Episode 7. This is probably the least offensive on our list. In the opening scene, every single character is dressed in costume, even the extras. Halloween is even mentioned in the episode's description. We're off to a great start. But like Full House, once the credits roll, all mention of Halloween inexplicably fade to nothingness. In fact, they stole this premise from Season 2 of The Office, where Michael has to fire someone on Halloween.
This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Why did you put it off until Halloween?
Because it's very scary stuff.
Number 7, Fright Night, Perfect Strangers, Season 7, Episode 6. Balky is convinced there is a ghost. Not only that, but before he became a ghost, he was a gangster murdered in his bedroom. To be fair, pretty much every episode revolves around Balky believing something ridiculous to be true, only to find out that it is true. Of course it is. While this episode definitely dabbles in the supernatural, it does not take place anywhere near Halloween. Shame, shame, shame. Number 6, also entitled Fright Night, The Brady Bunch, Season 4, Episode 6. It's a common misconception amongst viewers that episodes revolving around ghosts are considered Halloween shows. The rivalry between the boys and girls continue. The girls are convinced they see a ghost. Well, indeed they do, much to the boys' amusement. You can see where it goes from there. Regardless of where it starts and ends, the events of this episode do not take place on Halloween. How can I be so sure? For a family that even celebrated Arbor Day, I find it a little hard to believe that Halloween would be sidestepped. I mean, they even wore costumes on Thanksgiving. Who does that? Besides me. Number 5, Best Friends, Family Matters, Season 5, Episode 6. In an episode decorated rather heavily from scene to scene, it is a little odd that Halloween is not mentioned again after the cold open. Instead, it focuses on Eddie hiring Waldo at Mighty Weenie and Harriet embarrassing Laura in front of her friends. It begs the question, why even go to the trouble of putting up Halloween decorations for a non-Halloween themed show? Well, the execs at ABC must have thought likewise, which is why every remaining Halloween show in the series is precisely that. Number 4, Man from Space, The Honeymooners, Season 1, Episode 14. Perhaps the costume contest is why this is viewed by many to be the one and only Halloween episode of The Honeymooners. Ralph thinks he's got it all figured out. We're in a $10 professional costume to win the $50 cash prize, leaving him $40 profit. Neighbor Norton, who he asks to borrow the money from, steals his idea, forcing Ralph to make his own costume. The reveal is a classic moment in television history. And it is possible the costume contest is Halloween related, but the word Halloween is never spoken. You know, I'm starting to think someone owns the rights to Halloween and you have to pay them for commercial purposes. Chew on that, truthers. Number 3, Employee Transfer, The Office, Season 5, Episode 6. For a show that did Halloween episodes almost every season, it is a little disappointing that this episode only had Halloween in the opening scene. Much like Full House and How I Met Your Mother. Why is this becoming a trend? Why? I have to know. I can't sleep at night. Number 2, And Then There Was Sean, Boy Meets World, Season 5, Episode 17. Considered by fans as not only the best episode of Boy Meets World, but a Halloween episode at that. This episode, while being a hilarious spoof of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, does not take place in October. Rather, the original air date was February. Definitely not Halloween. In fact, that season has a Halloween episode entitled The Witches of Pembroke. Spoiler alert, it's kinda meh. Number 1, Mystery Weekend, Saved by the Bell. Often viewed as the only Halloween episode of Saved by the Bell, this particular one dropped the Bayside High School set and exchanged it for Knockwood Manor, a weekend getaway involving a murder mystery. When someone actually dies, not one of the naive California kids suspect that it is part of it. Spoiler alert, it's part of it. Lisa is involved in the prank, which seems not at all plausible considering her loose lips. Plus, it's a little odd that the gang isn't a little bit more shocked that Zach killed Lisa.
Poor Lisa. Oh, Zach.
Speaking of pranks, the only episode of Saved by the Bell that is technically Halloween themed would be Practical Jokes in Season 1. Harvest Week, check. Pumpkins, check. Corn stalks, okay. True Saved by the Bell fans will argue, however, that this doesn't count as this was originally a Miss Bliss episode. Did you agree with my list? No? Fuck off.